Welcome back to West Brom Fan TV and game week predictions. Midweek, going to keep it short and sweet with this one because there's a lot of content coming this week. So we'll start off with the game at Turf Moor on Tuesday. We'll start off with the Tuesday games with Burnley taking on Coventry City. Now, Burnley have been, they're barely leak any goals. I think they've conceded the least amount of goals. They broke a record, I'm pretty sure, in Championship history. Only conceding 6 goals in their opening games so far. And the team they're playing, Coventry, they got a thrilling 2-2 draw against Sheffield United. Again, they probably should have won, really, with them being down to 10 men, Sheffield. Saying that Burnley have been consistent, Cov have been inconsistent. It's going to be another boring 1-0 win for Burnley. You know, they're getting wins on the board. That's all that matters. City taking on Sheffield Wednesday. Now, Hull have fell off a cliff, really. They've looked really poor and disappointing, to be honest. Sheffield Wednesday, on the other hand, they've been inconsistent, but they're getting results, to be fair. Their fans were tipping them for playoffs. I don't think they're going to get playoffs this season, but they're going to be safe. Going to be mid-table, I'm pretty sure. Prediction for this one, I don't think it's going to change until Hull get rid of their manager. It's going to be Hull City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Off to Carrow Road next, with Norwich City taking on Plymouth Argyle. Now, obviously, I watched I watched Norwich last weekend taking on Albion. They look really good in attack, really shaky at the back though. But obviously, it'll be a lot different story playing at home. They've only lost once, I'm pretty sure, in the last year, and that was against Bristol City quite recently. Plymouth, who they're facing, have been woeful on the road, barely picking up any results. They seem to be really, really good at home, though. Saying that, they're away at Carrow Road, so I want to say Norwich City 3, Plymouth Argyle 1. Next up, Sheffield United taking on Oxford United. Now, Sheffield United have been really good this season, to be fair, right up there. Just consistently grinding out results, similar to Burnley. They're not the most thrilling teams. They've got a good defence though, and they're consistent. Obviously, they drew the weekend against Coventry down to 10 men. Means that Ahel, I can't say his name, the centre back for Sheffield United, butchered that. I know it's Anel or Ahel or something. I'm really going to struggle with that surname, so I'm not going to make a fool of myself, but he'll be missing for this one. Oxford, on the other hand, they got battered at the weekend. To be fair, they're playing a top Middlesbrough side who've got the tails up, so you can't really look too deep into that. So, score prediction for this one, I'm going to go 2-0 Sheffield United. Convincing win for them. Next up, off to Stoke, I'm pretty sure it's the Bet 365. I can't remember if they've changed it or not, but they're taking on Preston North End. Now, Stoke are just sitting around mid-table. Preston, same really, 2 lower mid-table sides taking on each other, and both teams haven't really blew me away this season. Whenever one looks like they're going to pick up, they just seem to crash in form. So I'm going to go for Stoke City 0, Preston North End 0. Next, Watford taking on Bristol City in a pretty big game, I think, really, of this game week. Watford have been really good at home, bit rocky on the road. I guess they got really unlucky saying that on Friday night, drawing to Plymouth in the last kick of the game. Andre Gray, of all players, former Horns player. Bristol City, on the other hand, they had a decent pick-up in form. They've kind of stagnated a little bit lately. Still think they're a quality side. And as hard as Watford is a place to go, I think I'm going to get something here. I don't think they're going to win, but I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Up next is the Albion. We're taking on Sunderland at the Stadium of Light, which is going to be a tough game, probably the toughest test of the whole season. It's a hard place to go, Stadium of Light. We don't often get anything there, to be honest, in the last 2 years. There seems to be one of our bogey teams, to be honest. Saying that, the big story of this game is Josh Maja going back to the Stadium of Light after last season. Dan Ballard absolutely clattered him and ruled him out for the season. So, yeah, it'll be an interesting one for sure. I think it's one of them, anything could happen. saying that we've been two of the most draw-heavy sides in the last 5 games. Both of us drawing 4 out of our last 5. We were the last team to pick up a result against Hull, only the game before Norwich game, whereas Sunderland have had, quite a few draws in a row, to be honest. Do I think that trend's going to change? Obviously, 2 quality sides at the moment. No, I don't think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Cardiff City taking on Queen's Park Rangers. Another fascinating game. 2 teams that are down there. Cardiff, like I said, it's been quite poor this season. QPR have been even worse. QPR, I'm pretty sure, rock bottom of the league. They just can't get a win. Get draw after draw after draw. But, draw is going to get you nowhere in the Championship at this moment in time. But saying that, this game could go anyway. I think QPR have waited bloody ages since their last win, and they're going to win at some point. So Cardiff City 0, QPR 1. Up next is another tasty game. Leeds taking on Luton. Now Leeds have been absolutely unbelievable, to be honest. They've got some seriously talented players, and they just seem to get the job done no matter what. I mean, 3-3 against Swansea in the 90th minute, and then 1 minute later, bang, and they've scored, they've took the lead, and they've snatched 3 points away from Swansea. They've just got so much firepower. They're realistically, if you look at that squad, it's a Premier League squad. And the manager as well, Farker, he's exceptional. I don't get why Leeds fans are criticising him so much. He's a top manager. He'll get him out of this league. And yeah, anyways, on behalf of Luton, they've been pretty just inconsistent. Saying that, they did win on Saturday, a massive one for the confidence. Kind of got them a bit of space away from that relegation zone. But I think it's going to be a big ask for them to get anything against Leeds. Leeds have just been absolutely unbelievable. And I'm going to go Leeds 4, Luton 0. A heavy one. Next up, Middlesbrough taking on Blackburn. Now, Middlesbrough probably performance of the weekend. An absolutely brilliant 6-2 win against Oxford. I mean, I've always knew they've been capable of that. That's why at the start of the season I predicted them to be a solid shout for playoffs, maybe even the automatic spaces. They've got some good players. They've got some young talent as well, which is very important. Blackburn, on the other hand, have kind of stagnated a bit. They were solid in the playoffs and they've just dropped out. They do this season on season, but yeah, I think those rumours about Blackburn having some financial issues as well. Obviously, that's not came into the forefront too much because of the Adam Wharton sale, still giving them a bit of money, but obviously no one wants to see Blackburn Rovers out of English football. They're one of the oldest clubs and they've got some good history, especially winning the Premier League. Saying that, enough about the history, we're on about the game. I want to go Middlesbrough 3, Blackburn 1. Next up is Portsmouth taking on Millwall. Southern affair. Portsmouth are still down there. A bit of a rough time for them, to be honest. Being back in the Championship, can't seem to get a string of wins together to hook themselves out of there. They don't seem ready for the league, to be honest. I think they'll have to regroup in League One because they're looking pretty woeful. Millwall, on the other hand, picked up a big point at the weekend against Sunderland, a 1-1 draw in the last minute. They just seem to be another team that are just, grinding out results somehow, and they could get playoffs. I was looking at the minute, because as much as they're not interesting, they can grind out results, and I think this will be another one that they grind out. Portsmouth 0, Millwall 1. Now the final game, it's Derby County taking on Swansea. Derby have been very Derby-ish this season. They've, mid-table. Considering they've came up from League One, I've been pretty impressed with them, to be fair. They get a lot of results at home. Swansea, at the other hand, have been all right. I think they've had a tough run of games recently, so can't look too deep into that Leeds game. They held a good account of themselves. But, like I said, need to start getting some more wins on the board now to push themselves back into that playoff race, because they'll drop, because it's so tight at the minute in the league this season. There's just so little points between everyone that anyone could end up anywhere after a good run of form or a poor run of form. Saying that, my final prediction will be Derby County 1, Swansea City 1. Now, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and up the Albion, calling you baggies.